So here's the brew house we just left. That last kettle right there is the whirlpool. Now we're over here in the fermentation. So far we've only added 3 of the main 4 ingredients to beer. We have water, we've added our malt, we've added hops along the way, and now we have to add the one last thing, which is yeast, and that's what happens in here. The beer gets piped into any one of these big fermentation tanks. We inoculate it with yeast, and the yeast starts doing its work, converting those sugars into alcohol. In here, not much else is done. We'll monitor them to make sure they don't get infected, to make sure things are progressing as they should. You know, knowing what we put in the beer, knowing where it should be after a certain amount of days. You know, they just test it, check on it, wait and see, make sure it's getting where it needs to go. You see the stuff bubbling out here. Another byproduct of the yeast eating sugars is carbon dioxide. So the top like third of most of these tanks are all full of foam. This one's foamed over and it's still bubbling from all the carbon dioxide bubbling out of there. This little bucket here is supposed to just be like a water lock. You see this one's just gently bubbling, if you can see it at all. So that's what's going on here. So we wait. They may sit in here for 3 days. They may sit here for 2 weeks. You know, it just depends on the style of beer. And from there, depending on the style of beer, some of them get filtered, some of them don't. Most of them here do. So this big crazy Mars landing looking thing is our filter. Not quite sure how it works. Some sort of physical media in there under high pressure. Beer gets pumped through there, and then from there, depending on what we want to do, if it's ready for packaging, it will go into one of these tanks. These are called bright tanks. These 3 right here. Pretty much the bright tanks, nothing happens there. They're just a holding container, you know, ready to do something else with, ready to put in a bottle, ready to put in a keg. From there, some of our beers though need to age a little bit longer. They go sit over here. This is the cellar. I'm not sure exactly what these tanks are called, but these big horizontal tanks are beers that will sit for more weeks after fermentation, weeks, months, years. Just depends on what it is, what we need from that beer. So it looks like most of them are all full right now except for that one, and who knows what's in here, when it will be ready, but I'm sure there's delicious beer in there. Just a quick rundown of the space. You know, cellar over here, here's all these tanks, there's the brew house we just came from, here's all the fermenters here, filter. Walk around over here, this is just some more space for expansion, not much going on, chemicals. So that's it. From here, we're going to go over to packaging. Most of our brewing has been done, all the magic has happened. Now we just need to bottle it.